Not because I am about to tell you something you have never heard before, but because some words do not need to be heard for the first time. Sometimes they simply need to reach you at the right time. Life does not always change when your circumstances change. Sometimes your entire life begins to change when you change the way you look at your circumstances. Two people can walk through the same pain, face the same rejection, stand before the same closed door. One leaves broken, the other leaves wiser. The difference was not always the experience. Sometimes the difference was the way they chose to understand it. Remember this: not every delay is a loss. Not every goodbye is a punishment. And not every door that closed in front of you was meant to remain open. Sometimes we become angry with life because it did not give us what we asked for. Then years pass. We look back and we realize that some of the greatest forms of protection came disguised as disappointment. The opportunity you lost, the person who walked away, the plan that failed, the road that suddenly ended. At the time, you called it pain. Later, you may call it mercy. Do not judge your life while the story is still being written. You are looking at one page. Life has not finished the book. Maybe you are living through a chapter you do not understand. A chapter filled with silence, waiting, questions, uncertainty. But just because you do not understand what is happening does not mean everything is moving in the wrong direction. Some roads feel wrong in the beginning because they take you away from everything familiar. And human beings are deeply attached to what feels familiar. Even when the familiar hurts, people stay in relationships that drain them because they know what to expect. They remain in places that make them miserable because uncertainty feels more frightening than unhappiness. They repeat the same days, the same habits, the same excuses. Then they wonder why their lives never change. The truth is simple. You cannot build a new life while desperately holding on to everything from your old one. Some things must be released, not because they were always bad, but because they are finished. And real maturity is learning the difference between something that requires patience and something that requires you to walk away. Do not confuse time with value. You can spend years walking in the wrong direction. The length of the journey does not make the road correct. You can know someone for 20 years and discover in one difficult moment that you never truly knew them at all. Time does not reveal everything. Pressure does. Watch people when your interests no longer serve theirs. Watch them when you say no. Watch them when you stop giving them what they became comfortable receiving from you. That is when you begin to understand the difference between someone who valued your presence and someone who valued your usefulness. But do not allow the truth about a few people to make you cruel toward everyone. Wisdom does not mean distrusting the entire world. Strength does not mean closing your heart forever. It simply means learning to give people the correct place in your life. Do not give a temporary person a permanent position. Do not give someone who barely knows your story the power to define your worth, and never allow the opinion of a person who has never fought your battles to become the voice inside your head. People see the result. They rarely see the nights you spent trying. They see your silence and assume you never suffered. They see you smiling and believe everything came easily. They notice that you have changed and say, "You are not the same person anymore." Maybe they are right. You are not the same, because some experiences do not pass through us without changing something. Some pain teaches you silence. Some disappointment teaches you observation. Some losses teach you that value is not measured by how long something stays. And some periods of loneliness introduce you to yourself for the first time. Do not be afraid of changing. Be afraid of allowing years to pass while you repeat the same mistakes, defend the same excuses, and expect different results. Life does not reward intentions alone. You can want success with your entire heart and still remain exactly where you are. You can dream about a better life every night. Then wake up every morning and repeat the habits that created your old life. Desire is a beginning, but desire is not the entire road. At some point, the thought must become a decision. The decision must become an action. The action must become a habit, and the habit eventually becomes your life. Stop waiting to feel motivated every morning. Motivation is a visitor. It comes, it leaves. The people who truly build something meaningful are not motivated every day. They simply learned how to move even when they feel nothing. Do what needs to be done quietly. You do not need to announce every plan. Not every dream needs an audience. Some things grow better in silence. A seed does not scream beneath the ground to prove that it is growing. It works in darkness, quietly, patiently. Then one day it appears. Be like that. Allow your results to speak when the time is right. And stop wasting your energy trying to convince people who have already decided not to understand you. A person who wants to misunderstand you will find a way, even if you explain yourself 1,000 times. And someone who truly knows your heart may understand your silence without needing a long explanation. Choose your battles carefully. Not every comment deserves a response. Not every accusation requires a defense. Not every person deserves access to your anger. Sometimes silence is a greater form of self-respect than entering an argument you already know will lead nowhere. Remember, you can win an argument and lose your peace. You can prove that you were right and spend the rest of your day angry. Before you respond, ask yourself one question. Will this matter to me 1 year from now, 1 month from now, even 1 week from now? If the answer is no, why are you giving it hours of your life today? We rarely lose our lives all at once. We lose them in minutes worrying about things that have not happened, hours replaying words spoken by someone who may have forgotten them moments later, days waiting for an apology that may never come, years trying to change people who see nothing wrong with the way they treat us. Protect your time. Money can return. Another opportunity may appear. Something you lose today may be replaced tomorrow, but a day of your life, once finished, can never be purchased again. That is why you must stop postponing your entire life until some perfect future arrives. Do not say, "I will rest when all my problems are gone." One problem may end, another may begin. Do not say, "I will finally be happy when I reach my goal," because when you reach it, another goal will appear. Learn to notice something beautiful while you are still on the road. A quiet cup of coffee, an honest conversation, a moment of silence, a book that changes one thought inside your mind, a long walk that puts your thoughts back in order, a peaceful evening when nothing extraordinary happens, a simple moment when you realize you are still here. A meaningful life is built from very small moments, and the person who cannot see the value of a small moment may achieve everything they once wanted, only to discover that they never learned how to feel satisfied. Do not attach your peace to everything outside of you. People change, circumstances shift, money comes and goes. Places you once loved may eventually become memories. Build a quiet place within yourself, a place you can return to when the world becomes too loud. Learn to sit with yourself without immediately trying to escape. Many people are not afraid of being alone. They are afraid of the thoughts that appear when everything becomes quiet. So they fill every empty moment with noise. A phone, messages, videos, news, conversations, anything that prevents them from hearing their own mind. But there are questions you cannot avoid forever. Are you happy with the road you are walking? Do the people around you make you better? Or do they slowly make you forget who you are? Did you choose the life you are living? Or did you simply follow what everyone expected from you? And are the things you are chasing truly worth the years you are giving in exchange for them? Do not answer too quickly. Some questions require a quiet night. They require a level of honesty that nobody else will ever see. Because the easiest person to deceive is yourself. You can say you are fine. You can say you do not care. You can say it is over. But somewhere inside you, the truth remains. And healing does not begin when you become better at pretending to be strong. It begins when you stop lying to yourself, admit what hurts, then decide what you are going to do with that pain. Do not turn your pain into your identity. You went through something difficult, but you are not the difficulty. Someone betrayed you, but you are not the betrayal. You failed at something, but you are not the failure. There is a difference between what happened to you and who you are. Never allow the worst day of your life to write your definition forever. You are larger than one moment, deeper than one mistake, and far more complicated than one person's opinion of you. Forgive yourself for the decisions you made when you knew less than you know today. It is easy to look at the past with the mind you have now and say, I should have known, I should have seen it, I should have made a different choice. But the person you were then did not possess the wisdom you have now. Some knowledge does not arrive through advice. It arrives after you pay for it, with your time, with your emotions, and sometimes with years of your life. Do not hate the older version of yourself. That person carried you here. Learn from them. Thank them for surviving what they understood at the time. Then allow them to disappear. Because if you spend too much time looking behind you, you may fail to notice the door quietly opening in front of you. And life, no matter how slowly it seems to move, waits for no one. Maybe that is the lesson you needed to hear tonight. You do not need to understand everything immediately. You do not need to have every answer. You do not need to know exactly where you will be 5 years from now. Sometimes the next step is enough. One honest decision, one habit changed, one person released, one fear faced, one quiet promise to yourself that this time you will not abandon your own life just to make everyone else comfortable. There will be days when you doubt yourself, days when your progress feels invisible, days when you look around and believe everyone is moving faster than you. But never compare the middle of your story to the part of someone else's life they chose to show you. You do not know their private battles. You do not know the price they paid, and they do not know yours. Your road is your road. Walk it with patience. There is no prize for arriving exhausted at a destination you never truly wanted. Slow down when you need to. Rest when your mind becomes heavy, but learn the difference between resting and giving up. Rest gives you strength to continue. Giving up convinces you that continuing is impossible, and sometimes the only thing separating you from a different life is the decision to try one more time. Not dramatically, not loudly, just quietly. One more morning, one more attempt, one more step. You may not see the result today, but remember the seed, not empty praise. Truth. Say, I made mistakes, but I can learn. I lost time, but I still have today. I trusted the wrong person, but I can choose differently. I failed, but failure gave me information. I am afraid, but fear does not have to make my decisions. This is strength. Strength is not pretending that nothing hurts. Strength is knowing something hurts and refusing to let the pain control every decision you make. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to feel disappointed. You are allowed to have moments when you do not know what to do. But do not build a home inside a temporary emotion. Feel it, understand it, then keep moving. A storm is real, but it is not the entire sky. And a difficult chapter is real, but it is not the entire story. One day, you may look back at this version of yourself, the version sitting quietly, thinking, questioning, trying to understand life, and you may realize that this was the moment something began to change, not outside you, inside you, because the most important changes are often silent. No announcement, no audience, no dramatic beginning, just a person becoming tired of repeating the same pain and finally choosing differently. So tonight, or whenever you are hearing these words, do not promise yourself that you will change your entire life tomorrow. Make a smaller promise. Promise that you will become more honest with yourself. Promise that you will stop ignoring what you already know. Promise that you will protect your time a little more carefully. Promise that you will stop giving permanent energy to temporary problems. Promise that you will listen when your peace is trying to tell you something. And most importantly, remember that your life is happening now, not when you have more money, not when everyone understands you, not when you finally become perfect, not when the past apologizes. Now, this imperfect moment, this unfinished version of you, this life that still contains questions, it is still your life. Do not miss it while waiting for a better one. Take what these words gave you, leave what does not belong to you, and continue your road with a quieter mind, a wiser heart, and the understanding that sometimes changing your life begins with something as simple as changing the way you see it. Listen quietly, think deeply, and when the time comes, choose your next step carefully, because the life ahead of you will be built from the choices you make after this moment.